Hi, I'm Mike Wise. It's been 64 years since the end of the Second World War, and each year there are fewer and fewer veterans from that conflict available to take part in Remembrance Day services. So now a new website from the Historia-Dominion Institute called The Memory Project is trying to record as many stories from those veterans as possible.
Trying to reach out to communities and encourage anybody that knows a Second World War veteran to contact us and to participate in the program by sharing their story with us. But in the second time, we're trying to the second part is we're trying to reach out to teachers and educators and say, this is an incredible resource for you. Textbooks serve a certain purpose, that they provide some small information about our history. Documentaries and films do that as well. But there's no substitute for the real example of Canadian history by those that told that were actually there and experienced it.
You can search by name or hometown to find a veteran, look at their photos, and hear audio interviews of what their war experience was like.
Over 50 of my friends. Brampton was a very small place. There's only 2 schools in Brampton when I was growing up, and there's over 50 of them didn't come back. They paid the supreme sacrifice.
The idea is to really be able to share these stories of such tragic experiences, but sometimes funny, humorous experiences, but really the definitive account of the Second World War as told by those that were there. And with Second World War veterans, average age about 87 years old, we're starting to run into time. About 500 World War II veterans pass away every week in Canada. So there's a real urgency factor to make sure that we reach out to Second World War veterans and encourage them to share their stories while they still can.
Researchers have been going into seniors' homes to interview veterans for the website. There are a couple of hundred interviews online right now. In the next few years, they'd like to see several thousand, while the storytellers are still around to share them.
We may be the last people that a lot of these veterans tell these stories to. In some cases, we may be the only people that these veterans tell their stories to. They're not one, in many cases, to even share them with their own spouses, let alone the general public. So it's an opportunity for us to capture something while we still can, and encourage the veterans also to buy into the idea, for lack of a better term, that this is a legacy project, that we're not collecting these stories for the sake of collecting stories, that there is a real goal and an objective here, and that's to pass the torch of remembrance and share the stories with young people and make sure that our younger generations don't forget about the contribution of our Second World War veterans when they're all gone.
You can find out more at thememoryproject.com. Mike Wise, CBC News, Toronto.